So I have some really fun display items to address this anti-nuclear narrative that you see in this comment here. And that comes from the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant. It's a licensed geological repository for transuranic waste in southeast New Mexico. The license was issued by the Environmental Protection Agency. But what I'd like to show you is right here. It's these different forms of salt. So you've got a little bit of calcium sulfate, some sodium chloride with some little potassium chloride inclusions and some clay inclusions. And what's significant is that you have these different layers. And why that's of interest is that with these different layers, they form stratigraphy at the repository. The stratigraphy, it's about a mile thick of water evaporites. These things came from water evaporating and leaving behind the salt and clay and all of the other stuff that was in it. And think about that for a minute. It's about a mile thick, mostly calcium sulfate and sodium chloride, but a mile thick. And the cross-sectional area is larger than some western states. So it's an enormous geological formation of salt. And right about in the middle of it is the Waste Isolation Pilot Plant in the southwest corner of that formation. And so the geologists tell us this is about 200 million years old. It would take an enormous, an ocean of water to wash that away. So if you had an ocean of water running beneath you, the nuclear waste is the least of your problems, believe me. That's a cataclysmic. It's an Armageddon in and of itself, rather than just increasing the radioactivity of the biosphere by a small amount. And that's really what it is. The radioactivity from the nuclear waste, it came from the Earth. And putting it back there, you're just accelerating it in a local place to a small degree, simply because the core of the Earth is molten because of radioactive decay. The heat that comes from radioactive decay is what keeps the Earth's core molten. Otherwise, it would have cooled off in the 4 billion years since it was formed. And so really just putting it back to where it came from originally in a way that's safe. It's a salt mine there at the WIPP. I've got some pictures of it back here. You can see some pictures there, and there's another one over there, which I guess is out of view. Yeah, you can't see it. That's a different one. Sorry. Anyway, the point is that, yes, we have solutions, although politics generally is the real impediment to any kind of nuclear waste solution. But the science is there, and Oklo in Gabon, Africa showed us that you could have literally a natural nuclear reactor in the Earth with all the fission products retained for billions of years. So the problem is politics. The solution is science. As a scientist, that's pretty much where I would default to. That's always going to be the solution, is better technology. I hope that helps. Let me know if it doesn't.